dude. Just a second, let me pull it up. ESO isn't bad? Listen, dude, I'm willing to be convinced. I'm willing to try ESO. I am actually willing to try it. Just a second. Did you change the aspect ratio?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the news. What a week. I am pretty darn sure the tally is...
Just a second. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to work. Bellular, like, listen. Everybody knows I like Bellular a lot. But, like, man, we've really got to come together and talk about what we're going to do about this hair thing. Like, we've really got to figure something out fast. Like, I mean, it's got to be real fast, man, because time is running out.
Is going to have no bother filling out a certain section of the weekly reset this time round. A lot has happened, both in-game and out-of-game, and then as a final reminder, we're doing a Lovecraft-themed Sea Beast A5 print in addition to this month's normal master tier, so you'll get one of these, contains a bunch of these, plus the other print for the 25 bucks, and your support has allowed us to do so much more for the same price there. Every time we get better bulk pricing, the first thought we have is, what more stuff can we add in? So, a big thank you for that, and a smooth segue for me, because on the topic of things that cost $25, let's talk about the Dreadwake. Yes, it has returned. This was originally bundled with the 6-month World of Warcraft subscription as a
This is not a big deal.
Shortly after
this is not a big deal at all.
It wasn't massively well received at the time because the tides were kind of beginning to turn
it's not a
against
big
the
deal.
expansion. Plus, I mean, hey, it was a boat that didn't float, which was a little bit weird. Now, for
Yeah, that is
players
weird.
like me who are already on a 6-month sub, I mean, comes to the territory considering my job, well, just appeared in my mailbox one day. But for many other people, they signed up for the 6 months. Now, from the start, Blizz said the mount would return to the store at some point.
Right.
In this case, it has returned pretty much after those 6-month subs
Thank
ran
you,
out.
Squidward.
So there was no lies, there was no deceit here, although not everyone is going to have read that disclaimer text, and I can't really blame anyone for being a little bit taken aback.
What do you guys think about this? I genuinely want to know, because here's basically what happened, right? Is that, like, is it people's fault for, don't care? Like, they don't think it's a big deal? Like, yeah, I don't really think it's a big deal either, personally. It's not really, it doesn't matter at all. Like, if they add it back to the store, I mean, who cares? Cheapest piece amount? Yeah, I mean, I never thought it mattered either way.
At the whole thing, I don't think people are surprised out of bad faith. Now, regardless of
No.
coming back, Blizz did, employ strong FOMO, i.e. fear of missing out marketing. There was adverts proclaiming it was, your last chance. Of course, it was your last chance to do the 6 months.
It's a little bit
promo, not
predatory.
your last
I'll
chance
give
to
you
get
that.
an amount. But once more, it's understandable how people wouldn't have known that, or would have just sort of felt pressure to, go and get do the purchase. Now, of course, BFA had a rough first 6 months, and based off how 8.2 is shaping up, I'd say the first 6 months of BFA will probably be the worst 6 months of BFA. I think this patch
What, is that
could
a
turn things
challenge?
around quite a bit. So yeah, there's, I'd say, a higher than normal number of unsatisfied purchasers with that original deal. So the Dreadwake coming back, yeah, that's expected. Will my tweet earn me a place on Tally's shit show? Probably, but I entirely stand by what I said. It is a mount that is...
What do you say? As always, fuck store mounts. Double fuck this one for being a double dip with store promo. Dreadwake is back as a store mount. See, I fucking hate store mounts. I've said this 1,000 fucking times. I genuinely hate them. I think that they're bad for the game, and I will never change my mind on that. I've always thought it was fucking stupid. Can we ban the Mr. Destructoid emote again? I don't know why we unbanned it. Can we just remove... I don't care about the Summon McCool thing. It doesn't matter. But just remove the emote entirely. Make it to where people can't type it. Because, like, I had it removed, and then some fucking mod decided to take it off the list. And, yeah, just take it off the, what do you call it? Just blacklist the emote. Okay, here we go.
Is pushed by 2 different vectors of influence in a game that has a full box price every 2 years plus a monthly subscription. Therefore, I am against all store mounts.
I think this is an overreaction.
And the more heavily pushed they are, the more I am against them. Indeed, look at the PvP tournament toys that Blizzard sort of smuggled in. That's yet another microtransaction. And unlike, say, the StarCraft 2 war chests, it's not like they're going to remove those toys after the esports season is over. They will linger in the store for years to come. So really, I just see that as a backdoor way of putting toys in the store. Really, for me, it's a simple game design problem. Rewards, I think, are important in games. They're a great way to give players a permanent token.
I gotta fix this. Let me go into my dashboard, and I guess I'll have to do it myself. How do you type it again? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, I guess that works. Just like, yeah, the mod. All right, that's perfect. Okay, yeah, I don't want people to do that. It's annoying, and yeah, it's just annoying. I don't like people that are intentionally annoying. Yeah, just time out everybody that doesn't. Okay, good. It'll take a while for it to go through. Okay.
To their accomplishment, to their achievements. In World of Warcraft, well, if a model has amazing, unique animations that aren't seen anywhere else and is super high quality, and generally just if it's a high quality mount, you can be pretty darn sure it will be a promotion. If the mount is just an in-game creature with a saddle slapped on it, it'll be earnable in-game. Now, yes, token is a side point here. You can purchase them with gold, but we all know how token actually works on the financial side. And if that was a purely correct argument, then hey, why even bother adding them to the store at all? Just put them in-game at a vendor for gold. I mean, come on, they're on the store for a reason. Let's use our heads here.
Yeah.
I think that the bit that really does get me, though, is that...
Well, the reason they're not putting them on a vendor for gold is because people, like, Blizzard doesn't make money that way, right? Like, the whole reason that they have the store mounts is to make money. Like, the whole reason they do any of this stuff is to make money. The only thing that I would actually agree and say, okay, yeah, this is actually something that is not just for money, is the... like the costs for server transfers, for example. Like, so the server transfer cost being $25, I actually think is a good thing because it's a prohibitive cost that allows people to do it if they want to. But if it was super cheap or free, people would transfer across servers all the time, constantly. And I think that would be more overall bad for the game. So I genuinely think that like the server transfers and name transfers and the cost for those, because obviously it doesn't cost Blizzard $25 to make this change in the database. But the fact that the cost is that high in order to prevent people from doing that, I think is a good thing. That's the only thing I'm trying to get at. So I can purchase. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll just time you out if you do it. Like, if your idea of fun is putting an emote in chat, oh man, that's kind of scary.
The varying model quality and the uniqueness. That's why, to me, it feels really bad. The high-effort stuff is in the shop.
I just think it's
low-effort reskin / slap a saddle on an in-game creature stuff, that's in-game. And that is a game that we still pay a monthly sub for. And really, I'm not going to change in this. I see no good reason to compromise on my principles because they're becoming unpopular and because... you know, of other people's arguments. I've seen no good arguments, really, in favor of this, and I'm not going to yield just because people are apathetic. Principles matter, and you can be damn sure I'm sticking by mine.
That's fucking right. That's motherfucking right. Is you see Bellular? Everybody can disagree with him, and he still says what he thinks. You know why? Because truth isn't a fucking democracy. Every single person in the world can disagree with you. There was a point where everybody else in the world thought the world was flat. And one, I think it was like a Greek guy or somebody like that, figured out, man, I think this shit is round. You know, I think this is a globe. I don't think it's flat. And everybody else thought he was wrong. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't care because he knew it was right. Here's something I'm going to tell you guys. Even if everybody else disagrees with you, don't change your opinion on something based off of what's popular. Don't change your opinion on something based off of what you think that, you know, people want to hear. Think for yourself, and it doesn't matter if everybody else in the world disagrees with you. If you believe it to be true, make sure that you actually are accurate. But if you believe it to be true and it's accurate, don't yield to anybody. Think for yourself. Question authority. You're goddamn right. Bellular being mad about this, I mean, I think it's bad, but it's not like a big deal. But I do think store mounts are a cancer to the game. I've always thought that.
As for what I do on Patreon, it's monthly. Is that not FOMO? Well, it's tied to physical production runs and the batching that is needed to make the whole thing feasible. So I don't think so. The cadence is like that for real production issues, not artificial ones. So that's my piece in that.
It's completely fucking different. If you're comparing Patreon to the videos, to Blizzard doing the store mounts, it's completely fucking different. One of them you're paying for a service, the other one you're not paying for a service. Second, the medium is completely different. It's like Blizzard giving out free toys because people play the game. Like, anybody that makes that comparison's a fucking retard.
Though, and still in money news, we've got the BlizzCon Portal Pass. This sparked off another, fair bit of drama, and, well, again, I think it's just because that idealized image of Blizzard, I think, has been shattering a little bit, post-BlizzCon 2018, and especially with the layoffs, which...
That's what it really comes down to
rough.
right there.
So, BlizzCon tickets are sold in 3 tiers now. There's regular, Portal Pass, and Charity Dinner. Now, the first and last tiers are the same, bar the regular price increasing $30, but the Portal Pass is new. It's essentially a VIP Fast Pass. It gets you preview entry to the Darkmoon Fair Market on the Thursday night. There's then the Portal Pass Lounge that will have video screens of the
This is the Blizzard, so BlizzCon stuff.
Staff dropping by, plus on-the-house refreshments and an in-lounge store for buying yet more things. They then also will get early access to the con and preferred lines, plus preferred parking.
Just a second, I gotta take a piss. I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry. Just a second. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry. I'm back. All right, what the hell was I trying to say? Okay, are we good? I think that we're good. Didn't wash hands? Why would I wash my hands? I got a clean dick. I should wash my dick every single time I touch it with my hands because my hands are dirtier than my dick is. So basically, Blizzard's doing the second level of a BlizzCon ticket. And a lot of people are pissed off about this.
You still actually do need to pay for the parking, which is kind of funny. And that all costs $550 per ticket.
$550.
Just under double the base ticket price. That's a hell of a lot of money, let's be real. It's a hell of a lot. That said, I mean, BlizzCon's a business. It has been for a very long time. They can do what they want here. I think it's pretty different to the store mount situation. I think games and IRL are, apples and oranges.
Obviously.
BlizzCon very much is run like a business, and they will make a hell of a lot of money from this. I don't think it's great value personally. I mean, early access to stores, that's not worth that much because most of the stuff is available.
Yo, Blizzard, they really got it dicked. You spend extra money so you can give them more money faster. Man, they got it, dude. They got it.
Online anyway. As for the queues, well, I just don't know what they're like for BlizzCon. If you've been to BlizzCon before, let me know what the queues are typically like. I'd be interested to know. BlizzCon's also generally expensive. An adult 5-day Star Wars Celebration Pass is $215, though their VIP is $850, but it's over twice the length of BlizzCon. Ultimately, it's a ticketed event that's pretty darn expensive. The worth of that is up to each individual. For better or worse, real life is not a balanced video game with fair mechanics, and that's just how this sort of thing will go. As for the con itself,
I want to say one more thing. A lot of conventions, like I live in Austin, Texas, right? There's a lot of conventions that go on around in here. And one of the conventions is South by Southwest. Another one is ACL. The idea of having like a super pass that you like spend a lot of money and you get to like skip lines and like do all this other stuff. This is very common in conventions. So Blizzard doing this is not necessarily a bad thing. And it's something that's an industry standard. Like you see these all the time. There are tons of super passes, and you guys think this one's expensive? The South by Southwest super passes are like $1,000. It's fucking insane. So this isn't really a big deal. Now, the reason why people are mad about this is that they're using this as a metaphor to explain Blizzard not caring about their community. So because Blizzard is doing things that makes the community not trust them, they look at everything that Blizzard does through the lens of Blizzard as being a greedy piece of shit company. So even whenever Blizzard does something that's completely reasonable, completely normal, and completely fine, people still get mad about it because the perception is that Blizzard is going to do everything for money. There it is.
Well, I think it's going to be a massive BlizzCon. The Overwatch rumor mill has been working in overdrive. I mean, I've heard pretty mighty things in the grapevine. We'll probably see a new World of Warcraft expansion. We'll probably see Diablo 4, and then, of course, the final patch of BFA. So it could be a large BlizzCon. I doubt it will be a repeat of 2018, which was a big PR disaster for the company. Ultimately,
Sure was.
if that was all they had to announce, based on them cancelling BlizzCons before, I don't think they would have done BlizzCon 2018. I think it's pretty clear
I don't think they should have.
Diablo 4 was pulled from the con.
I
but
genuinely
at the time
don't think
the
they
con
should have
was
done
already locked
BlizzCon
in,
last
and that's
year.
why that happened. Finally, the goodie bag has been replaced with a statue. It's either a Horde or Alliance one that is of the same style to the recent ones they put in the store to celebrate.
Yo, can you imagine this? Imagine you get that statue, and a TSA agent, whenever you're flying home, is like, no, you can't have weapons on the plane. And they take the statue away from you. Like, look at that sword. I mean, like, you could take over a plane with that sword. I wonder if Blizzard thought this through.
The 25th Warcraft anniversary, so whether you like it or not, well, that's just down to the style and your preferences. It certainly is different to what's in-game. I think they're fine, personally. The similar statues retail for £50 on the UK store, so I guess that's about the value of this year's, BlizzCon sort of thing.
Okay.
You know, I think I'd actually rather just have one good item instead of a bag of tat, so I'm actually pretty okay with what they've done with that. Next up, the mod ban. The dramatics don't end. Blizzard issued a large wave of 6-month bans to people who were using tools that modified game files. This actually included a few machinima tools as well as model swappers, often those, used by those who frequent the Goldshire Tavern, if you know what I mean. There was a bit of an outcry, mainly from the model swapping people, with people just saying there was a pretty victimless breach of service or breach of the terms.
The only
After
real
all,
victim
the
was
model change
Jesus.
just on client, doesn't really impact other players. Now, there is a potential for some trouble here. It is the same type of trick that was used to see through the floor in Cthulhu way back in the day, or it could be used to, say, enlarge the size of a battleground flag to appear larger and being more noticeable.
We used to, I never did this, but there was a guy in my guild, whenever he was trying to farm, there were these little crystals that you were able to get from the Sons of Hodir back in Wrath. He changed, he edited the model to, instead of it be this little crystal, it was a Ragnaros. So he just went and he got exalted with Sons of Hodir in like 3 days after the expansion. And I think they sold like this crit gem pattern, and he made like fucking like 300,000 gold selling these crit gems because he was the only person on the server that could sell them. And everybody was buying them. He had a complete monopoly. It was fucking amazing.
So it could affect gameplay. Now, the update to this that's actually quite good is Blizz have argued that some of the suspensions were for harmless activities, so they've decided to actually revert them and issue warnings, saying that if people continue to break the TOS, they will take further action. And overall, I think that's surprisingly fair.
Yep.
They must have hit quite a lot of fairly non-harmful players with the 6-month bans, and probably realized that it may not have been the best play. You know, I suppose it's tricky because it is all stuff that's against the TOS and has been for ages, but it's not really something that was enforced. So I do think it's better to issue a warning before enforcement, so yes, I think this ended up working out okay. If only Blizzard made a statement before the potion bans or something like that. I'm actually sort of happy to see how this one played out. Sure, it was not super clean because the warnings came after the fact and with the reversions, but you know what? It's not normally how Blizzard do this sort of thing. Perhaps moving forward, this is an indicator that they will be more clear about issuing warnings to players before running in with the ban hammer, and really, I think that just is better for player relations. Okay, next, item level
I actually think that they should ban them and then unban them afterwards. Just so that person has like that fucking fear. You know, like whenever you have some fucking 12-year-old that thinks that he's a weed dealer and he's going to be the next Scarface, and you take him to jail, it's like that scared straight shit, and, you know, a bunch of guys are just like, they got him into a corner and they're fucking screaming at him and he's crying, and he comes back from, you know, that whole place and he starts doing his fucking math homework. I actually think this is the same thing. I think that they should ban people and then unban them like a week later. And be like, you know what? We're going to give you a second chance. And they're just so fucking happy that they're getting unbanned. They're not even going to put poop in chat. They don't even want to say anything that could be offensive at all. They're just being polite, good people that don't say anything wrong. And they're never going to cheat again. I'm serious. That's the way Blizzard should treat it.
Increase. Let's actually just cover some in-game stuff. So, the eye level increase. Blizzard have increased the potential rewards from a variety of content in the game, of course, to line up with the Crucible of Storm's, raid release. This is pretty much what you would expect, with World Quest rewards bumping up 10 item levels.
It's too
Emissary
much.
Azerite bumping up 15 levels to 400. Emissary Equipment going up to
That's too much.
395, along with the Against Overwhelming Odds quest. All fairly simple, it's all live now. This will help you get your characters up to speed just a little bit quicker, but hey, it's all kind of shifting goalposts, isn't it? So the the average item level will now just be about 10.
There's never a goalpost.
Next, portals. Blizz have added the Caverns of Time portal into the portal rooms of 815.
Wait, what?
That removes one of the major pain points from the portal removals of that patch, but it doesn't really solve the kind of core problem I think that many people had, where it's like Blizzard did that to make the world feel larger, but generally the world just doesn't feel that large because there's not much meaning in it. So
the portal decision. See, here's what's sad. Here's what made Blizzard sad. Is that there are more people in Dalaran than Borealis. So Blizzard, in like their infinite knowledge, they just removed the portals from Dalaran, and then everybody moved over to Borealis. Now, I don't necessarily think this was a bad decision. I think that it was a little stupid. And here's what I think Blizzard should have done. I think Blizzard should have removed the city portals in Dalaran, but kept the portals that were in the main chamber that took you to like Karazhan and Wormrest Keep, or Wormrest Temple. I think they should have kept those portals and gotten rid of the city ones. That would have been the smart thing for them to do. It would have been a good middle ground while still giving people the unique utility that Dalaran had, while not making Dalaran just far and away the best place to be. Are there any not falsers in chat? Like, come on, let's just be real here. 0 portals would be better. I mean, yeah, they make 0 portals, and then you can never go to Outland. That's it. You can never go to Outland at all. No, I think portals are okay, but I think you can also make, like, here's an example. Like, I played Black Desert a lot, and in Black Desert, there are no portals. There's nothing. The only thing you can do is you can, like, press the auto unstuck button, and it'll take you back to town, right? Which is, like, something I used to abuse the shit out of. I don't know if you can still do that, but you were able to whenever the game came out. And anyway, in Black Desert, you had, like, all of these different things, but if you were in one place of the map and somebody else was in the opposite side, it was like a 20-minute investment for you to get over to them. So that means if you get over to them, you're going to get shit done with that person because you just put 20 fucking minutes into going over there, and you're not going to let your time go to waste. That was something that Classic had. If you went all the way up to Scarlet Monastery and the tank wasn't very good, too bad. You're going to teach them to be good. Because if you want to get another tank, it's going to be 20 minutes to find a tank, 40 minutes for the tank to get over there, and then you don't even know if he's good or not. Everything in Classic, there were these secondary hidden social benefits that Blizzard, I don't even think, knows exist. Portals are not necessarily bad, but they're also not necessarily good either. I think Blizzard, I don't know if they should cut down the amount of portals that people have or not. I really don't know, because a lot of the things that people do, it's purely just, cosmetic stuff, and it's like, why make that harder? I don't really know. But I do think Blizzard should definitely do a better job. That's why reputation matters so much in Classic. Well, it does. Because if you're, it does. Like, it depends on how big the server is. But if you're on, like, a server with, like, the normal population cap for Classic, yeah, absolutely. The only time that your reputation didn't matter in Classic is if you were a complete dickhead, but you were so good at the game, and you were in such a good guild that people would play with you anyway, just because they wanted to roll the dice to say, maybe you won't fuck them over this time. Like, that's basically how it was for me in Burning Crusade and in Wrath. Everybody knew that I was a piece of shit. Everybody knew. They knew I was a ninja looter, etc., but they would still play with me because they'd kill the boss, right? And I'd only ninja loot plate gear, so if you were a mage, you're fine.
It would be great if Blizzard would just be able to make Azeroth feel large by making it meaningful.
Make Azeroth great again.
Probably an expansion or two away. I think it would be unlikely to say that Blizzard aren't aware that that's a problem. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next expansion is just trying to make the World of Warcraft feel a little bit more meaningful. Next up, we've got the employee testing of World of Warcraft Classic. Yep, it's hit BNet. It's allowed employee accounts to jump into WoW Classic. And this clearly is a major step closer to Classic Beta, which really must be quite soon indeed.
I fucking hope so.
I mean, with a summer release and
I fucking hope so. Here we go.
Slow pace of gameplay, they're going to have to get that in players' hands pretty shortly to get like proper testing of it. Now, I'd absolutely expect Classic Beta to be in full swing within the next calendar month because of that. And personally, I'm pretty damn excited to get into it.
Me too.
I don't think that Classic will really mesh with where my life is right now, just because of the time aspect of things, but I can totally see myself chipping away at that over the months.
Look at that word, chipping away. That's right. Another 5-minute tangent. Classic WoW was more casual friendly than BFA or Legion. Classic WoW was the most casual friendly point in the game. That's a big true. Okay, guys? That's a 100% big true. And I know that some people might be upset about that because you like your LFR, you like your catch-up gear, etc. Classic was so much better for casual players than BFA can ever be. It was so much better than Legion could ever be. Anything before that, or anything after that, Classic was superior in terms of being casual friendly. And I think actually, I'm gonna say something that's like probably 400 IQ right now. I think the reason why WoW started losing subs is because Blizzard doesn't know what casual friendly really is. Blizzard equates casual friendly to moron friendly. That's basically what they mean, right? Okay, well, we can't have PvP vendors because, you know, people can't find them. Blizzard made the game friendly for morons, bad players, and people that are antisocial. But they didn't make the game better for actual just casual players. So they tried to expand their audience beyond MMO players. And that's why nobody's happy anymore, is because they're trying to make everyone happy, and you can never make everyone happy. Like, I'll give you an example, like for my own stream. People grow up? Yeah, you're right. And kids grow up to be old enough to play the game too. Why aren't they coming back and playing this game instead? They play Fortnite. I bet in 10 years they'll play Fortnite. There's plenty of games. Look at League of Legends. Kids grow up, they play League of Legends right now. League of Legends has been out for like, what, almost 10 years? You can't use the same example for that as you can with WoW. I don't think it's as simple as just saying that it's a product life cycle and people have grown out of it. That's such a cop-out to just excuse the fact that they've done so many things that have obviously hurt the game. Like, it's not. Like, yes, you're right to an extent, but the problem is not that people are growing out of it. It's that people aren't growing into it. Okay, yeah, Counter-Strike, etc. I don't know. Like, I feel like Classic was just a lot better for casual players. Like, that's really the only point that I'm trying to get at. And if Blizzard realized that, I think that they can make the game a lot better. What happened to positivity? How is this not positive? Like, I'm saying... Let me think of a way to explain this. Like, it's not about being positive or being negative. Like, I am being positive. I'm being critical in a positive direction, right? I'm saying this is what's wrong with the game. These are ways that you can fix it. This is how it used to be. This is why it used to be good. This is why it's not good in this way anymore. I wish that it could be more like the way that it used to be. I feel like that's as positive as you can be.
At the end of the day, regular World of Warcraft is going to have its lulls, and Classic is included within the same subscription, so certainly it will round out Blizzard's Warcraft product offering quite a bit, I'd say. So yeah, that's mostly it for the news. Of course, there has been a fair amount of PTR stuff, really just a lot to jump into there. And I think patch 8.2 is just an interesting topic to me. You know, as I've said in a lot of my videos, it's interesting how the willingness to be, well, excited or interested in 8.2 is certainly quite low. And while I do think that, yes, it's not going to magically fix class design or anything like that. And yeah, I would go back to the MOP days of class design in a heartbeat if I could. Honestly, I really would. But, you know, I think that most of its changes are pretty darn positive, and we're working on a Mechagon video that's involved both me and my researcher/producer, Matt, putting quite a lot of time into that zone. So we'll have to see when that video actually comes out, but so far, Mechagon seems really great. At least in what it's trying to do. And that's nice, because it's not trying to appeal to everyone. It's actually trying to just be good at what it does. And that really is quite nice, because I think it's a lot better that a bit of content like Mechagon actually has a target audience that enjoys it, rather than it just feeling a bit irrelevant to everyone. So, you know, it's interesting with A2. I'm actually
that is true.
Now that said, the other interesting thing of the channel has been the lore.
Wait, holy shit.
Have been lore, and they have... My God, they've done so well, so much better than I thought, which certainly is nice to see. I think it does show us that, you know, with BFA, I think a lot of people are not particularly interested in the game.
People don't care about the current game, but they care about the game.
In, like, Warcraft, the IP, and where it's
going. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's the sort of players who will be a bit more interested in the next expansion, if Blizzard are able to show that their sort of philosophy changes will be backed up with action. So yeah, that's why it's been interesting doing those lore videos, especially the ones with more of just a kind of a future-looking thing. It's like, you know, here's the chess pieces now, here's how they're moving the next patch, here's what it could mean. That stuff's all really fun, and we've got a few more videos like that on the way. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for your support on those lore videos. We've really enjoyed making them.
That's great.
We've got a few more in the pipeline. And yeah, I suppose it's nice that there is still a type of content that both people who are and are not playing can come together and actually enjoy, which is certainly a nice thing in the current climate. So anyway, that's it for...
That's what I said 100 times. Like, I said that 100 fucking times. That's why people love to watch, like, meta complaining videos or, like, meta videos about, like, WoW, is because they're accessible to everybody, right? You don't have to, like, have a current sub to BFA to understand, you know, a video about the Lich King, right? You just understand it, know it. Let me ask you guys a question. Who in here, realistically, is probably going to be playing WoW in 10 years? Like, I'm curious to see how many people are going to say yes here. Not me. Me. No, thank you. No way. Make a poll. I don't know about a poll, but I think that that's absolutely true. Like, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be still playing WoW in 10 years. I really, really think so. And I know that might sound ridiculous and people might not believe that or whatever, but I genuinely feel like they're a poll. Like, you guys really want a poll? Okay, fuck it. Let's just do it. Just a second. What's the best BG? You guys really don't know what you're talking about here, but that's fine. All right. Type your question here. No, we're doing a poll, okay? Relax. Will you probably be playing WoW in 10 years? Yes, no. Okay, so and this is like assuming like there's no like calamities, right? It's like, oh, well, I'll be dead in 10 years or something like that. No, just like assuming everything normal happens and you're still playing games, what's it gonna be? I want to know. There you go. Give me some fucking votes, boys. Let's get some fucking votes in here. Yeah, that's what I thought.